All right, let's talk about something that's a huge deal for AI right now. How do we get all the different kinds of information an application needs into one place, and in a way the AI can actually make sense of it? It really comes down to one big question.
I mean, really think about it for a second. For an AI assistant to be genuinely helpful, it's got to see your calendar, right? It needs to pull up your travel documents, maybe check the weather from some online service. How in the world do you give it safe, structured access to all those completely different data sources at the same time?
Well, the answer in the Model Context Protocol is a really elegant concept called resources. This is the standardized way MCP is built to handle this exact kind of messy information gathering, making it, simple and totally predictable.
Okay, so let's really dig in here. Honestly, the best way to wrap your head around a resource is to think of it like a universal library card, but for your AI. It gives the application one single, consistent way to check out any piece of info it needs. And it doesn't matter if that info is living in a file, a database, or some random API.
So, if we want to get a little more formal, here's the deal. Resources are basically the bridge connecting your AI to all its data. They give it structured, predictable access to information, which the application can then grab and feed to the language model as context. This is what makes the model's answers so much sharper and more relevant to you personally.
So, how does this library card actually work? Well, every single piece of information gets its own unique address, kind of like a web address, called a URI. It also has to declare what kind of file it is. That's the MIME type. So the app knows if it's looking at a PDF or a calendar event or something else. This lets the app grab the right data and serve it up to the AI model in a way it can understand.
And you can see from these examples, the URIs are super clear and easy to read. You've got calendar / for your calendar, file / for a document on your computer, and something like trips / could be for a custom travel app. It's this universal naming system that lets the AI know exactly where to find what it needs every single time.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. MCP actually offers two different kinds of resources, and this gives developers a ton of flexibility. Let's break down the difference between what we call fixed and dynamic access.
So, on one hand, you have direct resources. These point to one specific thing, like your calendar for the year 2024. It's a fixed, direct link. Simple enough. But on the other hand, you have resource templates, and these are more like a search query with placeholders. See those curling braces around city and category? That means you can ask for activities in any city and for any category you want. Now that is incredibly powerful.
So let's see this in action. By plugging values into those city and category placeholders we just talked about, we can build a super specific query on the fly. And just like that, the AI can ask for a list of all museums in Barcelona. It's a simple idea, but man, it unlocks a ton of potential. So behind the curtain, the protocol uses a few key commands to make all this magic happen. An app can list all the available resources to see what's out there. It can read the data from a specific one to get the actual info. And this is cool. It can even subscribe to a resource so it gets a notification if something changes, like if a new event gets added to your calendar. It's really a complete toolkit for managing all this context.
All right, theory is one thing, but let's see how this all clicks together in a real-world example. This is where the power of MCP Resources just shines.
Imagine you type a simple prompt into your favorite AI assistant. Plan my Barcelona trip. Now, to give you a genuinely helpful answer, that AI needs context. A whole lot of context.
And boom, the application gets to work, pulling together all the relevant resources. It checks your calendar to see when you're actually free. It uses a weather template to look up the forecast for your dates. It might even pull your travel history to see what you liked or didn't like on your last trip to Barcelona, and it finds your digital passport file just in case. It's gathering everything.
And there it is, that simple but powerful workflow. The application gathers all those different resources, bundles up all that rich context, and sends it all to the AI model, along with your original request. The model now has everything it needs to spit out a smart, deeply personalized itinerary that feels like it was tailor-made just for you.
Now, this travel example also brings up another really important point about the protocol. It's designed to enable these kinds of intelligent features for the user, while at the same time giving developers total freedom to design the interface however they want.
Because those resource templates have these clearly defined parameters, the system can be really smart and offer helpful suggestions. So if a user starts typing par for the city parameter in that weather example, the user interface can pop up with suggestions like Paris or Park City.
It helps you discover what's possible without having to guess the exact commands.
And this is a really crucial point. MCP defines the back-end communication, how the data is requested and sent, but it absolutely does not force any specific user interface on developers. They're totally free to build a familiar file tree, a powerful search bar, or maybe a super smart system that just automatically suggests context based on what you're talking about. That flexibility is a core part of its design.
Okay, so let's bring it all home. We've looked at what resources are, how they work, and seen them in a pretty practical example. But why? Why is having a standardized approach like this so important for where AI is headed?
So why does all this matter? Well, it matters because resources finally give AI a structured, predictable way to access all our different kinds of data. It matters because having both direct and template-based access gives developers the perfect mix of precision and flexibility. And it lets them build smart, intuitive features for us, the users, without locking them into any one kind of interface. It's the best of both worlds.
When you get right down to it, it's pretty simple. Resources are the engine that powers context in the Model Context Protocol. They're the missing piece of the puzzle that lets AI move beyond just generic knowledge and safely tap into your world to be truly helpful.
By providing this universal library card for information, the protocol really opens up a whole new universe of possibilities for creating truly intelligent, context-aware AI. So the real question is, what are you going to build with it?
Thanks for tuning in to this explainer. We'll catch you on the next one.